And even though I said your boy JG is going to have his best season in this offense, even though I said it could result in us winning the Super Bowl, I still have my reservations for guys with higher skill sets. But I think within this offense, it being his third year, dude's fucking deadly.
Yeah.
And it's not good enough for me when I say it. So what I went ahead and did for you guys is I grabbed a clip from the Let's Go podcast with Bill Belichick, one of the cringiest old dudes. I don't even know his partner, but I hate him. He's really annoying. But they had Jared Goff on that podcast this week, and they kind of asked him about this, like, his best season yet. And he had something very familiar to say.
Did you have any indication through this offseason after what happened that something like this was in the offing and was coming?
Yeah, I think just the continuity we've had now in the third year with having Ben Johnson back now, we've got the same O-line, added Zeitler from the Ravens, and really the same skill players, and it's all just it keeps adding and accumulating. And those guys protect me. Those guys run great routes. I'm delivering it on time and accurately. And I think for the most part, I've obviously those numbers are cool and everything, but I think I'm just trying to play disciplined football, and I think I have, and trying to continue that. And sure, we'll make the throws that are in the tight windows when we need to, but for the most part, they've kind of presented themselves when they're there, and I've made the throws, and guys are making catches, and things have been good these past few weeks.
I mean, this is the same thing that we've been talking about for a while now, and you're hearing it right from the Goff's mouth, is that it is the continuity. It is the familiarity of him in this system. It's the first time he's had the same quarterbacks coach and play caller for more than 1 year in his career in the NFL, and this is now his third season with Mark Brunell and Ben Johnson in those roles. Mm-hmm. So it means a lot when you have a guy like this who is so in tune with what they expect of him, so in tune on what he has to do to efficiently execute this offense. He knows it like the back of his hand, and that's why he's having games where he's not incompleting a pass. That's why he's going 4 weeks in a row having a perfect first half. Like it is insane to see a guy just absolutely dominate teams the way he has, but it doesn't matter what the other team throws at him. He has the faith that Ben Johnson is going to call the right play in the right situation, and the guy's going to be open depending on the read that he makes. And if it's not, he has the control to audible it at the line to see what he sees, change the play to make sure he puts his team in the most beneficial situation. Jared Goff is truly in a master's level course with this offense. This is offense 401 that we were promised in the preseason.
And that's why this shit is not slowing down. This train is not slowing down. You have Bill Belichick, let alone one of the best coaches to ever do it in National Football history, but also one of the better defensive minds to ever do it. You have Bill Belichick, the guy who shut Goff down in the Super Bowl that they played. With the heads-to-head, him and Sean McVay. That was, as boring as it was, that was an absolute fucking chess match between those two coaches. Bill Belichick, if you guys, after the show, I implore you to listen to the podcast. It was great. But Bill Belichick basically said, you might have saw this clip on Twitter, this offense is unstoppable. Like there's just too many weapons to manage. You got two good tight ends, you got two good running backs, you got two good wide receivers, and you got a damn good quarterback. And he's in year 3 of this situation. I told you, it doesn't even matter if Jameson Williams is out. If you have a guy like Khalif Raymond, by the way, or a veteran like Tim Patrick, by the way, who's been in this. Tim Patrick obviously hasn't been long enough, but he's been in the league long enough where he understands concepts and whatnot. He knows where everybody's going to be. He knows where the placement guy is going to be, and he's going to get the ball out. We don't. Our headset's not working, and I don't know if that's a clip they talked about. But the checkdowns, you say if it's not there, I know where my checkdowns are.
Yeah.
Like that's what you're seeing. That's why you're seeing these perfect games, and that's why you're seeing him be so efficient. It's been 3 years in the making, but goddamn, was it worth it?
Yeah, it's extremely impressive to watch this guy just absolutely execute this offense. Like, it's the back of his hand. He knows where his guy's going to be, when his guy's going to be, and how the defense is going to react to the play call. They sat down and sculpted this offense when he was first traded here, when Ben Johnson was first appointed those duties. They made this offense based on what he does best, and now we're seeing the fruits of their labor.
Absolutely, and I think it's not slowing down. Nick?
I mean, yeah, that's why you're getting some of these Tom Brady comps that are just seem like astronomical, but that's why, because he was able to run the offense to the best visibility and do it in big spots. And the one thing that I've been super impressed with this year is he's not forcing it as much. I mean, you saw it a little bit early, but he's gotten out of that. He's not forcing it because, like he said in that video or in that whole podcast, he said he knows it's going to be open later. Like, so if he's not taking that 50-50 shot, which he knows that he does not have to anymore, that it will be open to his advantage later on in the game. And I just think it's so impressive. And yeah, nobody's stopping this offense anytime soon, including the Green Bay Packer defense. If the Green Bay Packers are going to be in this game, it's going to be a straight shootout in Lambeau.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of points thrown around. Two very, very good offensive minds, two offenses that have been together for a little while. We're going to see some sparks fly even in the rain in Lambeau this week. So I'm excited for it. But the one thing, like I said, we stop the run and we run the ball better than a majority of teams in the NFL. Josh Jacobs isn't going to get going, and we are going to absolutely obliterate their defensive front with our running game, and that's going to be the ultimate equalizer because it's going to force Jordan Love to throw the ball more than Matt LaFleur wants him to with the groin injury, with the way he's been kind of giving it up. You've got some insane playmakers in the back end of the Lions secondary, so I expect Kirby Joseph to have another interception in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if it was two.
Yeah, I guess that'd be the one element outside of defensive game planning that I could maybe see affecting Goff is just the elements. I don't know that rain is one, though. I know typically I point to cold weather situations. I think you're less likely to point to rain situations that hold back our boy JG. But if it's rainy and cold, that'd be the interesting twist to see. That'd be the interesting test. What they call it, a litany test for our guy JG in this offense, because he has struggled in those conditions. As much as like a lot of people like to deny it, no, the numbers very well point to that. And I know for almost anybody that would affect them, but obviously with JG it's affected him more in the past. That actually makes things a lot more interesting, if I'm being honest with you. I completely forgot about the rain and how that would affect him.
What about his ankle? Does that concern you guys at all moving forward? Jared Goff, with the
not
hip.
So much because like
you don't need him to be moving
JG.
around.
Yeah,
He
I
can
love
stay.
JG.
He can stay pat.
Yeah, he don't move too often on that ankle too much. Like when it happened, it wasn't on him making a move. It was on two guys, colliding on him in the sack at one point. He was just fucking running backwards. I'm not really tripping on the ankle injury at all. And like I said, he'll be back tomorrow. They got top-notch doctors over there in Allen Park. He should be fine. I think it's more so. It's not an injury I'm worried about. It's an injury
I wouldn't be surprised if Jared Goff threw the ball under 20 times in this game. You're going to see a heavy dose of David Montgomery. You're going to see a heavy dose of Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs obviously on a tear. David Montgomery coming off of a game where he didn't get used that much because they really didn't need to, first of all. But second of all, he was a little banged up from the Minnesota game. So now you got him coming back, gave him an easier load last week, and now you got a full week of rest. I expect David Montgomery to get a heavy, heavy usage in this game.
I mean, Dave Montgomery, he's the one who put him in the pine box last season in Lambeau. Mm-hmm. He had like 30 carries, something crazy like that. Like he went crazy in Lambeau Field.
Expect a similar game plan. Like expect a heavy dose of David Montgomery. I'm taking all his overs.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the curious to see what he did last year. I want to see the exact numbers. Yeah, the rain's gonna be the one wrench, but like we said, or like Bill told you, the best coach to ever do it. You still run the fucking football.
I just think the ankle needs, obviously, injuries always do concern me, but in this type of game where you might need to hit like a big drive down the field, if it is raining, you do want to have full-fledged power on his feet to plant with, to drive that ball through the conditions. Like, I want to make sure he's all good. And Spenny, I agree with you. I would run this ball, 35 times in this game. Make sure that you control the clock, control the game, and keep the ball away from Xavier McKinney because he's obviously dominating at a high level, just like our safeties in Detroit. Don't turn the ball over. Run the ball, for a good average. We're going to take care of business.
This might be a true black and blue NFC North matchup here in that rain.
It might be.
Because they got a little – Jacobs, I like Aaron Jones, but he's a little bit more of a physical runner than him. So but that one's really – I don't expect him to run the
You hate
ball
Josh Jacobs.
I do hate Josh Jacobs. But he's more downhill than Aaron Jones.
We shut down Josh Jacobs against the Raiders last year.
Yeah, absolutely did. 32 attempts for 121 yards and 3 touchdowns Dave Montgomery had against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau last year. We won 34-20. And the 20 only came in because, boys let off the pedal a little bit there.
They did. They let off the gas for sure.
I know Dan Campbell earlier this week when he was asked about the matchup, the most important key for the Detroit Lions, he said shoes. He was talking about the cleats that they're wearing in Lambeau.
Yeah, they're going to need long cleats.
The same thing, too.
Going to need long cleats because it's going to be muddy. It's going to be dirty. It's going to be rainy because we talked about it with Herman Moore, dude. Like, why? Come on.
Yeah, you got to talk to Herman about that.
Put a dome on your field. Nobody wants to see that.